Hello guys, I first of all welcome you all to this interview question series of SQL. We are in the set 3. We already seen two sets of MySQL interview questions, and in the third set we again continue with the other questions of MySQL. Okay, so in this section the first question is, what are the differences between the MongoDB and MySQL? Okay, first of all, MongoDB and MySQL both are database management systems in which the main difference is that MongoDB is a non-relational database management system, whereas MySQL is a relational database management system. In MongoDB, we'll store the data in the JSON format, and in the MySQL, we'll store the data into the structured way in the tables, and in this table we form the relationship. So these are the two of the most important thing with respect to the difference between MongoDB and MySQL. Okay, let's move forward with the other question we have. How to store binary data in MySQL? Okay, first of all, what is binary data? Binary data is in the form of zeros and ones. Okay, the data which is in the form of zeros and one, we called it that as a binary data. So if I give an example, if you have an image, photos of anything, suppose I have a photo of cat, and I want to store it into the databases. So these image data will be converted into the binaries one, into the zeros and one format. So in that way we can store the image into the databases. So binary data can be stored in MySQL in the different ways. So first one is, the short length of binary data can be stored in the form of string as varchar. Okay, and the second, if you have a large image file, then we will use blob data type. So binary large object data type we will use to store the binary data. Clear? Let's move forward again. So next question is, what is regex in MySQL? First of all, what is regex? Regex means regular expressions. So it is the concept of pattern matching in SQL. So whenever you want to do the pattern matching in SQL, we'll go with the regex. So regex is an operational and powerful pattern that can help us, the user, to implement the powerful search utility functions for databases system. Moreover, it is an operator which is used when required matching regular expressions. In addition to this, it is also supports a wider range of meta characters, which allows flexibility and more control over the database structures and perform pattern matching. So if I have a requirement where I do the pattern matching of certain things, want to retrieve the database on some patterns, then I'll go with the regex concept. But the thing is that you may heard about the like operator in MySQL. Okay, so like operator is the basic form of regex. Okay, in which we will use percent and underscore symbol to do the pattern matching. Okay, so here is an example if you want to just get the gist of a regex. So pattern matching begin at the string like cap symbol. This is the cap symbol we have. Okay, and in which we have a query like this one. So we are selecting the name from users. Okay, we have a users table and we are selecting the name, and we have a conditions. What is the condition? Name. On the name column, perform this regex. So we insert the keyword right reg expressions, and then we will given this pattern to it. So what is the pattern? It will begin with the best interview questions, something like that. So it will fetch all the strings which begin with best interview question. This is called regex in MySQL. Clear? Next move forward with the other question we have. How to make a copy of value from one column to another in MySQL? Okay, so it's a very basic question we have for interview. So I want to copy the values from one column to another. How to achieve these things? Okay, first of all, we will use the update clause here. Okay, and table name basically. Then whatever your table name is, suppose employee table is there, so update employee table, set new field is equal to old field. So this is the condition we have. This is the equality condition we have need to satisfy. So old field name is, suppose if I give an example of this, so update employee table where I want to set old field which is salary, and I want to create another duplicate field of same salaries values. So I'll do this employee, update employee, then set salaries equal to salaries. Okay, new salaries equal to old salaries, something like that. So using this we can get the desired result. Clear? Next, move forward with the other question we have. What are the difference between the char length and length in MySQL? Okay, first of all, as you know that there are two types of function in MySQL. First one is the inbuilt function, on other one is the user defined functions. And in the inbuilt functions we have different type of functions. Okay, first one is the string functions, numerical functions, datetime functions. Okay, and in the string functions we will get these two functions of length and char length. And what is the basic difference between that? So in the length it returns the length of the string which measured in bytes. Okay, and in the char length it returns the total length of the string measured in characters. So in the internal format it is represented as a bytes. So if I want a byte representation of the string, then I'll go with the length, whereas if I want just character length, then I'll go with the char length. Clear? Let's move forward. What is the use of enum in MySQL? How it is different from set? Okay, in MySQL an enum is actually a string object whose values is selected from the list of permitted values predefined during the time of column creation. It is used because it provides compact data storage in addition to readable queries and output. What this mean? Okay, first of all, enum, we will define enum with the column name. Okay, suppose I have a gender column in the person table, and in the gender column it must take the value of male, female, and if not specified it will take the value of NA. So I'll explicitly define that list into that column when defining the structures. So we will use enum for that purpose only. So anyone wants to insert other values, like if I define male, female and NA, and if anyone wants to insert the values apart from that defined value, then SQL throw an error, MySQL throw an error to it. Okay, and the difference between enum and set is that the value should be listed. In the case of enum, the value should be listed in the definition. Okay, so if I define the list of gender male, female and NA, then the only those value you can use in the definition or inserting the values. And in case of set, you must be an empty string consist of a value listed in the column. So this is the main difference between the enum and set. Okay, let's move forward with the other questions we have. Can a primary key can be dropped in MySQL? If yes, how? Okay, first of all, primary key is a combination of unique and not null constraint. Okay, and it uniquely identifies each of the record in the table, and there can be only one primary key in the table. We can't have multiple primary keys. Okay, and whenever it is concerned, if I want to drop the primary key, then yes, it is possible. So primary key can be dropped by using alter table statement. How? So we will use the alter table clause, then table name, and we will use another clause called drop primary key. So by using that way we will just drop the primary key in the table. Clear guys? Okay, let's move forward with the other question we have. How to save images in MySQL? Again, we will see that images represented in the database in the binary format, zeros and ones. Okay, so in MySQL, images can be stored as a blob. And what is the full form of blob? Binary large objects. For saving them, all the database images are converted into the blob first, then they will be get inserted into the database later on. It will be get stored into the disk. So in that way we will just store the big images or image data into the MySQL. Okay, let's move forward. How to write an optimized query in MySQL? Okay, first of all, whenever we are writing the query, there is some optimization parameters are there. we need to follow in order to get the result quickly. So these are the few of the consideration you have to take care of in order to make the query more efficient. The first one is function should not be used in predicate. This is the first condition. Second is at the beginning of predicates, do not use the wildcard symbol such as percentage. Use only needed column in the select clause. On other ways, avoid using star wildcat character. Okay. Then always use the inner join options whenever possible. So these are the few consideration you will take in order to make the query optimized. Okay. Let's move forward with the other question we have. Okay. We have other questions like what is the slow query log in MySQL. Okay. So what is a slow query log in MySQL? In general, slow query, the log is basically used in MySQL for determination of which database query will take a long duration to run. Okay. Moreover, a slow query log in MySQL simplifies that operation in the context of efficient and time-consuming queries. In order to enable the slow query log, the command is get global slow underscore query underscore log hyphen on. So this is query we can use to enable the slow query log in the MySQL. Okay. Next, what's new in MySQL 8? Oh, okay. First of all, we know that there are different versions of MySQL database management system. There is the version 4, version 5, and currently we are on the version 8. Okay, and there are many of the updates available in with respect to MySQL version 8. So those updates are Unicode 9 support are available in MySQL 8. Window functions is the new addition in MySQL workbench, and then recursive SQL syntax is improvement. Okay, so there are some recursive common table expression syntax improvement there in the MySQL 8 version. Support native JSON data as well. So if you have a data in the JSON format, it will support in the MySQL also using parser mechanism. Okay, supports document store functionality. This is also an update of MySQL 8. Okay, let's move forward with the other question we have. What is federated tables in MySQL? Okay, it is a table that points to a table in the another MySQL database instance. It can be seen as a view of this remote database. Other RDBMS have a same concept, for example database links. Okay, so federated tables means that if I have a table which is on the another MySQL database system, it will point to that table only. Okay, this is a federated table, and in other database system we will call it as a database links. Clear? Let's move towards the other question we have. How to control the max size of heap table? Okay, basically heap table stores our temporary data. So heap is a memory storage for temporary results. Okay, the maximum size of heap table can be controlled by MySQL configuration variable called max heap table size. So this is the variable name called max heap table size, in which you can basically control the heap size of the temporary results. Clear? Next, move to the other question we have. What are the advantages of MySQL? Okay, so this is the last question we have for the session. So there are number of advantages of using MySQL database management system. First is data security. MySQL provides a larger data security to the our databases. Second is it is used to retrieve a large amount of records from the database quickly and efficiently. So MySQL has an inbuilt functionality like limiting the records, query performance, updation related restrictions. So both that contributed to higher retrieval rate and better security management. Okay, then there is a on-demand scalability. If I want to scale my database, then we can do that using the MySQL. Then high performance. I always before the start of these questions I told you that there are some inbuilt mechanisms are there, okay, to get the high performance from the databases, such as limiting the rows, updation related restrictions. If I have a updation clause without where, then it will just throw an error. So these are some of the tweaks are there in MySQL in order to get an high performance. Excellent uptime, so it has a highest uptime with respect to other databases. Then reduce total cost of ownership. So basically the cost is optimal with respect to the handling to the databases. So these are few of the major advantages while using the MySQL. Okay, so that's it for the today's session we have for the MySQL set 3. We will meet with the other set with the other MySQL question. Till then, goodbye.